Boom, two down, two to go. As we just start to wrap up our downtime here and find out what is next for the crew. John?
I think we have one more downtime.
Oh, one more downtime. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to.
That's okay. Yeah, I think Aldo was not done. Aldo had his heartbreaking scene with Quellen, but there's more that Aldo needs to do. You want to tell us about that, Zeke?
Absolutely. So, after the last adventure and leading up to this, like it's been boiling for a long time. There's just a culmination of things. My sister wants me to let her go, and I'm having trouble doing that. I've called into question my abilities as pertaining to the group, like as far as my participation and how valuable I am and stuff like that. It's a lot of self-doubt. And the one person in this group that has the least amount of self-doubt and also has been given or has taken powers is Careless. And Aldo, in his mind, thinks that in his unstable mind thinks that a good way to go about well, maybe not a good way, but the quickest way to go about alleviating that self-doubt is to become more powerful. So he is going to try to commune with she who slays in darkness.
Yes. Now, normally I would say, how on earth can Aldo do this? What's going on? But you earned a playbook advance last time we played.
I did.
You spent that playbook advance on a special ability.
Yes, I did. I spent it on Occultist, and I was going to play it out in the downtime where I spend a coin, I spread around some money, I see how because I've been to the the gathering place, wherever the tavern is, when I wanted to figure out how to communicate with Belle by myself.
Yeah, the weird underground ghost tavern kind of place. Yeah.
So I'm going there, and I just want to speak. My goal is to speak to she who slays in darkness and get powers from her.
Right.
If that's a thing that happens.
Yeah. I mean, when you have a cultist, that's a thing you can do. You're able to consort with strange entities, and I think I think you're right. Like the way to get there, fictionally, is for Aldo to go back to this strange place, the strange underground ghost bar thing, and we've seen it before. There's a kind of central room where ghosts and humans mingle, and other types of creatures in the darkness. The Mos Eisley Cantina kind of space. But then there are corridors that go off into the darkness, into chambers beyond that. And I think maybe this time what we see is Aldo, maybe you just give a nod. You've made some arrangements with the proprietor, and they give you the nod back, and you walk alone back into the dark down this corridor into a darkened chamber with a little flickering light candle. And it's been prepared for you to try this. The runes on the backs of your fists, your ghost fighter hands glow softly as you enter the chamber, and you feel that resonant pressure inside your mind of being in a magical place. You've done this with Rune before. Rune sort of guided you through this before, but you've made some attempts recently to do things on your own, which haven't gone super well. But you're primed. You're ready to take that step, and reach out. So yeah, I think you're positioned. You have the power now. You can consort. You can do other things besides consort, but maybe that's the best way to start. Maybe commanding isn't the best way to start. Although you could try that. You could try commanding the goddess to appear.
No, I definitely think consort is the right thing, because I have 0 dots in consort.
Yeah.
So it's destined to fail, and I want to see what happens.
Yeah. So you're not going to push yourself or anything. You're just going to take your 0 dice and see what happens.
This is like a Hail Mary. Like, I don't know any other way that I can get immediate power.
Yeah.
So other than communing with a demon.
There's a question. I think we know the answer, but I'm going to float this out here just because from a role-playing standpoint, maybe XP standpoint, this does matter. You know someone who is a much more powerful occultist than you, who has a connection to the goddess, but that would be Rune, right? And it seems like Aldo is intentionally doing this without her.
Well, I honestly thought about that, but I see and hear Careless talking to the demon and talking about the demon more than Rune does. I didn't know they had that kind of a relationship.
Yeah, I think you're aware that something has gone on, that Rune has. Well, you know for sure that she went off with Careless to do a ritual or something about the goddess that one time.
Right.
So yeah, I think you are aware. Well, it's up to Anne actually.
Well, Anne, does Rune take her power from the goddess or the she who slays or whatever?
Take her power?
Like in order to like do her storm and stuff like that. Does she get that power from the she who slays?
No.
No.
Okay. What is Rune's relationship with her?
That was something that we were figuring out. There's
okay.
Like defined right now.
It's okay. Because I thought Careless introduced Rune to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're still not. I mean, I still have a clock for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're one tick away from like finishing it and actually like getting the bond, having her as a friend, so to speak. But I mean, it's up to you, Anne, how secret that is. Like, if Aldo would think of you or not, I guess it depends on.
I mean, I don't even think Rune like has any idea of what is going on with it, so it doesn't. I don't think it would make sense for Aldo to ask her about it because she doesn't like. I'm not like going around talking about it and stuff because we haven't even, as like players, haven't even done anything with it so far. I still have a clock for it that's not complete, I think.
Yeah, you didn't just like dive headlong into worshiping her or anything, so it kind of just hung out unfinished.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it's less that Aldo is like ignoring Rune and cutting her out of the process, and more that like you just don't really think to involve her.
Well, no, the best person to involve would be Careless, but I don't want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for obvious reasons. You're not using him. Okay. Well, cool. Yeah, then I think you've got your 0 dice consort. No one's here to help you. You can push yourself to roll 1 die instead of 0 if you want to. Otherwise, you're.
I'll do that.
Okay.
What's the value or the position?
It's controlled.
Okay.
And it's actually not. I was gonna say limited, but it's actually standard effect.
Okay. All right. And I have 3 stress total, by the way.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Okay. 1 bonus dice. Here we go.
Wow. Well,
man,
built up to that.
Yeah. So it's this quiet moment in the candle flame and the darkness here and the rumbling in the background of your mind, and then just suddenly out of nowhere, the goddess appears. Pretty much how we've seen her before. She's usually this giantess, and there's sort of flowing black drapery or something that's obscuring her, and her form is a little hard to make out. This time we see this black skull of a face with empty eye sockets, no skin, this obsidian gaping skull with teeth filed to points, her hair like black wires coming out of the back of her skull, 6 arms, all with talons, 6 wings beating in the darkness behind her, all tattered flesh. She's wearing it like robes, like strips of flayed skin. And she howls up out of the dark, giant and huge, and presses herself against you, pushes you to the floor, essentially, in the room, and up against the wall, kind of awkwardly jammed, with your neck bent at a weird angle, howling into your face, screaming into your mind at the same time. Who dares summon me?
My name is Aldo, and while I'm not currently a follower of yours, I know one who is. And you have given him great power.
She's drawing back one of the talons to like pierce through your skull with it, basically.
Mm-hmm. You have given him great power, and I'd like the same. His name is Careless Firm.
The talon comes arcing in and stops at your forehead, and she reaches down and sticks it under your chin, as we've seen her do with Careless before, and she picks you up off the ground effortlessly, standing up to her height. The talon like punctures you under the chin, and blood runs down the talon, and she picks you up so all those feet are like dangling off the floor. She twists you sideways, one and the other, and she says, "Do you serve him?" And you feel this huge threat looming in your mind when she says that.
Serve him? No. We're allies. Why?
He has abandoned my service. You will be my instrument. Another talon comes in.
And Zeke, when someone tells Aldo you'll be my instrument, how does that make him feel?
Your instrument? Instrument of what?
She draws you closer again, and you feel like the flesh ripping under your jaw. She pulls you in close. The gaping skull is here. Vengeance. I am not to be discarded lightly, or to be used. You, Aldo. And you start to feel like you're falling into her mouth. Like you feel like this vertigo feeling. You will make an example of him.
Will you give me
destroyed?
Will you give me the power I seek?
Yeah, we see you like fall into the void of her mouth, tumbling downwards with the blood spilling off of your chin and face. And then you like land in the real world hard on the stone floor of the room, cracking your head, rolling sideways. She doesn't answer that question directly. A 1 on the consort roll means everything goes the way she wants, essentially. There's no bargaining. But you feel different. You feel this hollow place inside your mind. And I think, given the circumstances, if you want to take the deal, you can take the deal for a level of trauma to bind her into your mind. Or we can just start the clock, and you can like actually, continue to like try to gain her as an ally. But right now, the only option open to you is to just give yourself over to her and take a trauma for it. But you don't right now. That's not required of you.
Yeah, no, I'll take the clock right now, and I really, really want to confer with Rune about this new information that has come to light.
Yeah, we're gonna call this. It's not really Goddess's favor. It's like connection to the goddess. You've made contact, and it was just complete ultimatums, like serve me in this, make an example of him, or I'll destroy you. Hangs up the phone. Clunk. No bargains, no deals. Just them's the breaks.
Okay.
The breaks.
But yeah, you've got it. You've got the connection to her. You understand what she wants and what kind of power that she can offer, but there's no wiggle room.
Okay. Hold on. What? Say that again.
I said that you're aware, like she's aware of you. She knows that you didn't say no to her. She said, like, Careless Firm tried to use me. I want vengeance against him. You're going to be my instrument, or I'll destroy you. And that's it. That was it. Wasn't like agree to this in exchange for something. She was just like, this is how it is now. Clunk, and threw you back into the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after that's over, this has been a terrible, terrible experience for me. I immediately try and get Rune alone so I can tell her about what happened.
Okay. Are you guys are on speaking terms again, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Are we?
I think so.
Okay. Rune, I've done something. It probably wasn't wise or smart, but I've never been either of those things. When it comes to my emotions, I spoke with the demon, she who slays. And now she's inside me. She's in my head. I should have asked you first. I'm selfish and stupid. And now I don't know what to do. All I wanted was the power to kill those who hurt the people I love. And now I may be in big trouble, Rune. What do I do?
Can she help you go back in time?
I don't know. Can she?
That was a joke, Aldo. That was very stupid of you, as you just said.
Yeah.
These demons aren't to be trifled with. You've made a huge mistake. I don't know that I can help you. But maybe there's something we can do. I have had my interactions with the goddess as well, and I do believe that I am on the path to earning her favor. So if we can perhaps pull you in, and maybe if I earn her favor, then by proxy you will as well.
Well, speaking of favor, did you know that Careless is out of favor? In fact, the demon wants him dead.
Which demon?
She who slays. She wants Careless dead.
Does Carolus know?
I'd assume, but I don't know.
Well, I guess it seems as though we're choosing sides. Either we go along with She Who Slays in the Dark, or we talk to Carolus, and we add another demon to our list.
I don't know, Rune. I'm so fucking mixed up. I don't know what's up or down anymore. I'll just say, whatever you decide, I'll follow you. You're the only thing left in my life that's a constant. So I'll just use you as my North Star. Because I don't know which way to go anymore.
I think we need to talk to Carolus.
Oh, and I'm sorry. Is She Who Slays a demon or a god?
She people call her a goddess.
Okay.
I think Aldo calling her a demon is totally fine. Like that's probably what
okay.
He'd say.
Okay.
He's not like down with all the taxonomy and everything, but yeah, I think there's a gray area where it comes to forgotten gods and demons. Like, what are they really? Up for debate.
I think I'm gonna give up trying to do what you do. Every time I try, it always ends badly. And it just mixes me up more. And I want to ask you a favor, Rune. Reaches in his breast pocket, in his vest, and he pulls out the diary. I can't destroy it. I need you to. He hands it.
Cool. Yes, I take it from him with kind of reverence, knowing what it means to him. All right, Aldo, I'll take care of it. But I do think talk to Carolus.
Whatever you think is best.
So I do. I feel like we should like kind of confer with Carolus and tell him what Aldo did.
Okay. Do you don't do anything with the diary right away? You just kind of take it in
My bag, yeah.
Put it in your bag. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Is that cool with everyone else? Should we cut back to? Is it the three of you that want to talk, or is it like a group thing?
It could be a group thing. I'm fine with that.
Okay. Yeah, I think Cataby's probably interested in these goings on, unless you specifically try to keep her out of it.
I mean, it's like Academy's perception, I think, is always like, I probably need to know this stuff, but I don't pretend to understand any of it. Like, there's still I don't even know if this is real. I just know I've seen some weird shit. And so, yeah.
You've commanded a demon, but you still don't really get what's going on.
Right. It's all like accidental to me in a lot of ways. So
totally. Yeah. Cool. Well, then maybe that's the next scene. It's at the library, and you guys know that this is your typical pattern, right? You do a job, you sort of lay low for a while, you take care of stuff, and then there's a time when you come back together and generally like choose the next target or decide what you're going to do, that sort of stuff. So maybe, unless you guys want it to be different, this isn't a like intervention like Carolus, thank you for coming, please sit down, but it's more like the normal meeting of the group, and whoever wants to start can start.
Okay. So I like walk up to the table and I'm just like, well, I have news for you. Seems Aldo fucked up a little bit. He went and tried to talk to She Who Slays in the Dark. Apparently it didn't go very well. And Carolus, it seems she's not very happy with you.
Yeah, Carolus is just like got his hands folded and smiling and gives a nod.
So we need to figure out how we want to proceed, I suppose. can we just ignore her or just pretend she's not there?
It's fine. Yeah, she'll probably go away.
Everyone's there, right?
Yeah, everyone's.
He says, well, it's all moving very fast, so I wasn't sure I should approach you guys just yet, but she is not interested in partnerships or alliances. She wants everything. She will take everything, and I knew this going into it, but I was in a desperate position, so I began a journey in the worst of places, and we've developed and gone to much better times and places where we are now. It's my new understanding that perhaps one of the best things we could do is have She Who Slays and Satara, two birds, one stone it, as I understand this to be. They both are at odds. I was in servitude to She Who Slays, but in realizing I no longer need her, and also in realizing that that path ends only in enslavement or ultimate destruction, it's best to sever ties.
And then what?
Well, hopefully we can have them pitted against each other in a very intimate situation. Normally they work through others and they have very kind of ephemeral movements, if you will, but if we can devise a situation where the two of them are within striking distance of each other, I believe such a situation would be most conducive to the rest of us.
So will they fight if they? Can we actually pit them against each other? Is that a like understand like what they stand for, or like how we could even, you know?
John's the constructor of this universe, but my understanding is that there's like a war. So the attempt to try and get them to work against each other would be what Careless wants.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think you guys don't know specifically like why those two would necessarily be at odds personally, but in the lore of the setting, in the mythology of the setting, gods, demons, and humans being enemies is like the typical arrangement of things. That they all want to be ascendant and control things, and so demons want to control everything, gods want to control everything, humans want to control everything. They're all natural enemies. So it's less like they have a personal beef with each other, and it's more like they're on different sides in the meta war for control of existence and stuff. So it makes sense for a goddess and a demon to be at odds, but that's just in general terms.
And Aldo kind of speaks up. Well, I just want to say this, Careless. First, thank you for helping me get the diary. But this demon and goddess business, I just don't know why I got mixed up in it in the first place. I don't know why we want to help you become this powerful, evil thing. And now I'm in too deep. She knows who I am. She knows what's in my head. So I just want to say this. She offered me power if I were to kill you. And I thought about it. I'm not gonna do it. But I do want you to know that after this business with these celestial beings is resolved, we're done. but I'll stick with it till the end, because that's who I am.
Careless smiles and nods and kind of looks around and says, and just to be clear, most of the best offers are done in blood. So, Aldo, you being offered some great power to kill me is completely normal. I don't fault you even for a second for hearing out such a deal. It's a pretty good one. And as far as us being done after all of this, I encourage you all to think exactly like Aldo. I'm here with this agenda and this belief because I was taken advantage of and my abilities have been removed from me, and far be it for me to want that for anyone else. I was but a humble deal demon, and now I'm of the belief that if I can get back that which is mine, I should probably take a little bit off the top for my time and for my emotional anguish, and then with those abilities, crush those that harmed me. And that is, of course, not you guys. So far.
It was so good until the very end there.
Well, one last thing, if I may. If and when we work our way up to Commander Oris, who's the leader of the Hive, he's mine. You took Captain Velkin from me. I prefer it if you didn't take this one.
Careless just says, sure, I mean, as I understand it, what you mean then is that if you are in mortal peril and will probably perish, I am to allow these actions to take place in the name of you having the final blow.
I think you pick up a lot more than you let on. But I'll just go with yes for now. All right. To business. What's the next step?
I would like to try a consort, like, separately from the group.
Okay.
So I don't know if we're going to decide on, like, a target, but if... I don't know. Do we want to do that? Can we see the
Yeah.
table of people?
The hit list.
The sortie roster.
I think I have an updated version here. Oh, well, whatever. We'll use the old one for now. You guys know who's dead.
Yep. Dunville, Velkin.
Velkin.
Yeah, Dunville and Velkin are still on there, but they're dead.
Is there anything in Velkin's notebook that tells me where I can find Commander Oris, or do we just know?
Yeah, it indicates where the drop-offs were, which is a place that it's a secret hive warehouse on the docks of White Crown across the bay.
Okay.
Across the channel.
Cool. So you said that there were specific dates, like regular intervals for the capture delivery things for the the human trafficking thing.
Yeah.
Is it possible that one of those dates is soon?
Is imminent? Yes, of course.
Great.
It would be no fun if it wasn't.
How convenient.
Yeah.
In this world that we created. Cool.
It is a bit of a coincidence, but not entirely a coincidence. Whatever, and I think this is something that you definitely understand, Rune. Like, whatever Careless has been doing, whatever forces are at work here, Satara's plans and the eggs and these various occult forces, the discovery of the artifacts, Miss Cataby, like getting a hold of them again after they've been lost for all these time. Like all these things are happening very close together in time. And it is convenient for us as players to have fun with it being nearby, but there's a metaphysical reason for it, that all of these things are happening in sequence leading up to something big. So yeah, it's a bit of a coincidence that the next delivery is soon, but it's also like on the timetable of events that you can kind of see in your mind. Carolus forming the group, the artifacts, the experiments of Lord Sukkard, yada yada yada. It's all leading up to something.
So I pull out Vulcan's notebook and I throw it down on the table in front of me, like open, to wherever Vulcan was like noting about the human trafficking stuff. And I say, well, I've been poring over this notebook that I took off of Vulcan, and there are some coincidences that I think could prove beneficial to tracking down Commander Oris. So if he's on our list, there's a specific place and a specific way that we can easily, I think, trap him. And I like point to the notebook where it says how they'll like deliver humans, like people, to him I'm assuming that there's a location provided in the notebook.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So because I'm thinking that we can just like pretend like we're trafficking people and be like, and then like show up to the thing, maybe.
Like Trojan horse them?
You have enough information on the notebook that you could even intercept the actual delivery. Like you know when it should be showing up and where it's coming from and that kind of thing, or like go there ahead of them or whatever. But yeah.
So I think we can do that. Anyone?
The group meets you with silence.
I mean, at this point,
I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with whatever.
And when we have a quiet moment, I just want to ask Rune. Now, we've been going along with my vengeance and Carolus's plan and that kind of thing. When do we go after Skurlock?
All in good time.
I just want.
Well, we needed the relevant information, and now that we are working our way up, eventually we can get there.
All right. I just wanted you to know that I haven't forgotten, and I'll see it to the end.
I would rather do it when it's right and when we will have a guarantee of success than to throw ourselves at it in a foolhardy way.
Agreed.
All right. Commander Oris.
I have a quick question, John.
Yeah.
So, like, I think after kind of hearing all of this, and maybe there's some like again, like Cataby doesn't understand any of this shit, but she's like suddenly really curious about the heart, right? Like, maybe this has something that could help us or help Aldo, or I don't know. But in whatever our next steps are, I think that's something that I would like to consider look into more.
Yeah, you have different avenues of approach there. You can study it. You can try to attune to it. I know that's not your specialty, but that's a thing you can try.
Okay.
Because you're kind of bonded to it, that gives you the opportunity to sort of safely try to attune to it instead of super dangerously like other people.
Okay.
And at the library, you guys have that as a crew upgrade. Your library is stocked with all kinds of books and things about this sort of stuff. So a study approach would make sense too.
Okay.
Do you want to just go ahead and do that now? Like maybe it even happened before the meeting. We can do this as a flashback. So if you learn anything interesting, maybe you can bring it up during the meeting.
Yeah. Okay.
So what's Miss Cataby's method. Like when you think about the heart and you've got it in your room or whatever, looking at this kind of inert black rock now.
Well, and it like a really quick reminder too, because I remember there was something that happened that made me think, oh, this is like there's like Careless has something to do with this artifact or something. Maybe you presented me with a choice.
There's two artifacts that you got in the basement.
Right.
So one is
the necklace.
The necklace, the giant necklace.
Eye of Guitar, right?
Yeah, the eye. You had the opportunity to try to command Careless with it because it commands demons.
Right.
Heart.
But then you asked me because we had that moment where we shook hands.
Yeah, the heart is different. The heart had been placed with a ritual in the pillar of the church and was doing something to control people.
Okay.
Up in the like control agents of the church maybe, or like affect them in some way.
Okay, yeah. Let's do a study roll. I think.
But then just to go back, like when you were holding the heart and Careless, you could see Aldo and Rune's hearts kind of metaphorically in the ghost field, beating in these golden human hearts, and you got this like vibe with it, like the heart. It's meant to reach out and like touch people in the not the physical heart, but like the seat of emotions and stuff. That's kind of what it seems to do. But Careless was walking past you and you saw instead of a heart, he had this black void in his chest.
Right.
I think I offered for you to like reach out and put the heart there. You had this
right
impulse to try that. So that may be what you're remembering.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So study roll.
Yeah. If you hit the books, then do study. If you attune, then attune. Whatever your approach is.
I'm gonna hit the books.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
And take a bonus die from your from the library.
All right. I'll just roll another d6.
A sweet library.
6 time.
Oh. All right.
5.
So this is like a fortune roll to see like how much you figure out. Yeah, I think you confirm by reading the legends before you go to the meeting here. The heart, in all the legends, Kotar doesn't. There's one legend where he uses it on a demon, and it's kind of what you experienced. There's an old like legendary tale of what kind of demon was it? It was a night demon that was terrorizing the Great Kingdom to the south. And the end of the tale is Kotar wrestling the demon down and plunging the heart into its chest. And the demon becomes a human in the tale that like strips away their corrupted nature and makes them pure. That demon gets enthroned as a king of that land or whatever, and that's the great story that Kotar like saved the land by burning out the demon corruption from this being.
Then I would definitely share that with the crew with the intention of like maybe this is a way that we can actually kill something that is possibly unkillable.
Yeah, that would be a definite safe takeaway from that. Like, yeah, it's like the nuclear option to kind of lose the heart, and in exchange, it has that effect. You don't know exactly how it works. You didn't get a 6, so
right.
But you have confidence that it does something like that.
Okay. All right, I share that. I do.
Do you have the heart on you? Are you?
No.
Okay, it's squirreled away somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you feel about that, Careless, when Miss Cataby tells a tale of a demon being undemonified by this artifact that she happens to now own?
Careless is singular in thinking that everyone's of the same mind, or at least helping him work towards something. So he just steeples his fingers and begins to think about how he could use that against Satara.
Against Satara, yeah. Cool.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. I just wanted to make sure I addressed that. So.
Yeah. So yeah, it seems like that there's this kind of lull. Like I'm picking up that vibe, like as players, but also in character too. Like Rune kind of lays out, hey, okay, this is what we can do. here's the next stage. We know when the delivery is happening. Potentially even like saving lives is on the table, but no, I don't think as characters you guys necessarily care. Maybe you do, I don't know, but the group at large feels like there's this kind of there's a burden or something happening where everyone's like, yeah, okay, this is a thing we need to do. We're finishing out this vengeance, but the spark isn't. It's not really there. Is that true? Like in character, the characters are kind of like lukewarm about this. About like is because Aldo isn't. I'm not hearing that fire. You know, obviously he's like dead inside to some degree. It's his target. I'm kind of taking us back to that moment where Rune gives her little speech, and then everyone kind of like doesn't say anything. What happens in that space? Does anyone talk? Is there an actual plan of action, or is it just kind of like, okay?
Well, I think it's a weird situation because it sounds like even Aldo isn't super. It's like a quiet, he has to die type of thing, as opposed to like, this will do this for me and this must happen.
Yeah.
My character's just acting off of what feels like what has transpired, which he doesn't know the details of what's going on with Bella and stuff like that, but he's seeing the development as like not being what it was, I guess.
Yeah. Well, if everyone is still on board, it like in character wise, we can have that sort of silent, quiet moment where everyone's like, yeah, we're doing this. And out of the corner of your eye, Aldo's got the 1,000-yard stare and it's just like, yeah, we're doing it. And we can just cut, like we can just go right into the operation from there. Instead of letting that just linger and be this like dead space of, I don't really know. We can jump ahead. We can do engagement. We can get to the job, I think. But the question that I have is the nature of the plan here. Are you straight up assaulting the docks there where Oris and his guys are going to be? Are you going to try to infiltrate the place? Or are you going to intercept the delivery and like pose as the traffickers, as a deception? Or
what's the first Rune and Aldo, because it sounds like Rune came up with the information and it's Aldo's important mission, so he just asked them to come up with it.
Okay. Sounds like Rune's in charge to me. I think you're in a position to just lay down the law right now and be like, this is what we're doing, everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I already kind of gave my plan, so I guess we just have to. I don't know how to like fake them out, like, or can we just? I think we should just wait for the delivery to happen, right? Or like ambush the place where it is going to happen.
We could pull the old Wookiee in chains gag.
But the thing is that they do it groups of 17 people. They're already going to be delivering.
Oh, right.
So.
Yeah.
I don't think we can like find a group of 17 willing people to pretend to be, whatever.
I think Miss Cataby might have something to say about that.
Well, but the thing is, they're already planning. Like, they already have the delivery. Like, I'm assuming that they've already found their 17 people and that they're going to go and, like, deliver them to Captain or Commander Oris. Yeah. So I think we just ambush.
As far as you know, yeah. And I mean, it's accurate to know that they must have already gotten the people, and they're either delivering a successful batch, or a partial batch. However many people they got is being delivered at this time. So,
sure. If we know where the people are coming from, we can ambush the delivery, or ambush the guards that are with the people, the 17 people.
Yeah, and hijack the shipment.
Right, and then pretend to be doing the delivery. So rather than fighting them all at once, we could fight half, and then the second half, and kill the Commander Oris.
That's true. Yeah. You know exactly their route. You could use Marquette's boat to go and intercept them on the water if you wanted to.
Ooh.
And maybe we could put Rusty and Dusty, our fucking Hollow Knights, inside of the crate. Jump out, surprise!
Yeah.
That would definitely be a surprise. Got your delivery, death. Okay, sounds like a plan. Yeah, so it's like it's like 2 parts. It's hijack the shipment, presumably release those people or free them or something,
Mhm.
and then
Whatever.
and then
Well, we have to pretend to take them with us is the thing. So we have to at least make the delivery.
Okay, yeah. So you want it to look legit as you approach, as legit as possible would be like keeping the people on board. That would make it more legit.
Well, and also like if they come in and, Oris wants to inspect the merchandise for himself.
Exactly.
Maybe we can get him alone. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, it's part of the planning and part of the detail that I need for the engagement, but it's also like character stuff again. Like where are your priorities really? And it's like, well, yeah, like these people, it's fine. We'll release them, but we're not going to release them until our plan goes off. Like we're going to actually use them as part of our plan. So that's cool. So let's see. I think the engagement is going to be the initial ambush. Like you're on the boat in the darkness of the Norfolk Channel. The huge lighthouse on White Crown Island is sweeping past. There's buoys out in the channel that mark the various paths that ships are supposed to take, and there's right-of-way business. We've seen you guys do this before where you're just kind of like motoring dark with no lights and navigating the channel perpendicular to the shipping lanes and just dodging out of the way of ships and stuff to stay out of sight. Careless is probably behind the wheel. He's the finesse guy still, I think. So we're seeing the waves lap up across the deck and spray hitting the windshield. And the ship that you're hitting is it's not an ocean-going ship. Roughly what you could tell from Admiral Velkin's notes is that there's various agents that have certain like submissions of people to grab. Maybe this wasn't in her notebook, but maybe there's some kind of type that they're looking for, a particular attunement or vibe or something in the ghost field, or who knows how they're making their selections. It doesn't seem like they're just grabbing the first 17 people they can get. It's very, very careful process. And then they bring them all together and hold them somewhere, presumably, until they get the right amount and wait for the right time, and then they transport all of them as a group to this other place. So this is a kind of barge, a big flat-decked, wide barge where there would normally be cargo crates and stuff lashed to the deck. In this case, though, there are cages. There's racks of several cages, and they're covered in tarps and roped and lashed down to the deck. But as we see the ship approaching, the tarps are blowing in the wind as the sea spray flies, and the ship has a few running lights on it so it doesn't collide with ships in the channel. And under the glow of the running lights, when one of the tarps lifts, we see people huddled, variety from young, like teens to older people, huddling in the cages, all different kind of walks of life too. But their clothes are all deteriorated and ragged, but some of them are very fine, with coats and high-heeled shoes with ribbons on them, and some are urchins in wearing rags, and all kinds of different people, but they all look somewhat malnourished and sickly, like they've been held in captivity. So let's make the engagement roll and see how smoothly this first part goes off. Do you guys totally ambush them or what?
And Rune makes the engagement roll because her plan.
Yeah.
Bye.
No pressure. No
It's
pressure.
the first time for everything. So you get 1 die to start for luck, as always. Is the operation particularly bold or daring? Yeah, I think it kind of is.
Yeah.
Drive up in the middle of the channel in the dark and fucking jump on a hive secret thing with who knows who's on it. Like, yeah, that's bold.
A boat jack.
2 dice. Is it overly complex? No. This particular part of it is very straightforward. when we get to the next phase, maybe we'll see if there's contingencies that are hard to control. So 2 dice. Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target? Yes. You have Admiral Velkin's notebook. You know exactly when they're going, where they're going. They think this is a secret, and they're wrong. So that is +1 die. Did any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation? Not directly, I don't think, unless I'm forgetting somebody. I think it was just Velkin's notebook that really led you here.
Mm-hmm.
I think. So 3 dice, and any other elements to consider. Tier is a factor. They are higher tier than you, which means they have. Yeah, I'm torn because their tier advantages kind of get negated by the fact that this is a total surprise. Because you know their route, and you know they have no reason to think someone's attacking them. They have defenses against being boarded and stuff, but they're not actively using them because you're taking them by surprise. So I don't think their tier actually hurts you right now. It'd be different if they had a reason to suspect that someone was going to try to get the shipment. Then things would be tough. But yeah, so that's 3 dice. 3 dice of engagement for you, Anne.
Cool. Where is my roll 20? There's R. Crit.
Oh shit!
Nice.
Awesome.
The crit engagement. It's been a while since we've had one of those.
Oh.
Dope. That's really good. Yeah, so not only are you taking them by surprise, but you get controlled rolls out of the gate.
Sweet.
So yeah, it's about time for our break. So why don't we do that, and then when we come back, we'll start the ambush and rescue these people.
All right, closing out this hour with the crit for man. Nice work. We'll be back with our final hour. Blades don't go away. We'll be right back.